Yeah, this is a big challenge that every enablement person and every ops team faces today, rev ops or sales ops. We spend so much money. There's an investment of dollars to buy the licenses for all of these different softwares. And every one of them has an incredible business case associated to them, an ROI that's supposed to help the company reach its whatever level. There's some sophisticated stuff out there, but there's also this huge investment of time to get these systems implemented. So now we spend a ton of time and a ton of money. And then the CFO and the leadership is now expecting a payback. They're wondering, is the sales team adopting it? If so, is it moving the needle on deals, whatever that may be? Is it helping us forecast more accurately? Is it helping us increase our pipeline? Is it helping us sell more deals? Whatever the value prop for that particular tool could be. The hard part is that there are so many great tools, and there's so many great salespeople out there and so many great marketing teams that we all feel like we need this large tech stack. So it's kind of like this problem that we've created in the sales industry, in enterprise software sales. We are so good at eating our own dog food that we're like, we know what it takes to sell to an enterprise buyer, right? And we've become very potent at that. So now we have this proliferation of this tech stack that we expect our sellers to be able to become proficient at, and it's unrealistic. So what happens is we spend a lot of money, we spend a lot of time on this tech stack, and reps don't get the full value out of it. And now that's not just the sales stack, that's every bit of enterprise software that's out there, with very few exceptions. There's great features and functionality out there, but 20% maybe is what we actually end up using. But the value, what we pay for, is 100% of the product, but you can't just pay for 20% of it. So now we have to get our sales rep to become proficient at it. So how do we do that? One, we take stock. What are the primary goals of the sales team this quarter, this year? Do we have the enterprise technology to help them reach those goals? There should be fundamental things that every organization needs. And depending on the size of the organization and their sales process, and that will vary by team to team. So take stock of what you have and then figure out, is it aligned to the strategic direction of the company? If it is, awesome. Renew those products. If it's not, figure out what you don't have to renew anymore. Are there duplications of technologies? Does one thing do 50% of what the other thing does? Okay, can you just consolidate and say, okay, we're not going to renew this one. We're going to use the functionality over here, and this is good enough. So take stock of the inventory that you're paying for. And then within the stack that you actually want people to use, figure out how you get the most value out of that. Because what you find is that most sellers are using maybe 20% of the functionality. Is that the 20% that you want them to use? Do you need to do more training around those stacks? Or do you need to say, hey, listen, this team actually doesn't need a license. It's only this team over here. So let's just pay for this thing. So now we're talking about like the financial side a little bit, and we get into the revenue operations piece. But let's get into a little bit around the tools that a team actually does need. Make it easy for them to use these tools. The admin setup has to be dumbed down to the point that somebody that's not in it every day or even every week can quickly go into and find what they need to find, or complete the actions that they need to act on. The problem is that a lot of the times these are set up by admins that are great at what they do for their role, but they've never lived in the seat before. Maybe they've never been sellers before. They're trying to think like sellers, but really what they're doing is they're taking their perspective on what a seller needs to do or what they want their sales team to do. So then they often architect workflows that a seller could be completely turned off by and ignore, or the seller's just going to bypass stuff to get what they need done. You see this all the time in CRMs when there's too many opportunity fields and things like this. But there are ways to kind of condense down the business process that you want reps to follow and make it there and be able to achieve both objectives. I'll give you a good example. We have a software, I won't name any names, that is designed to help reps increase their pipeline. So one of our strategic directions is, of course, to grow our renewal rate and increase our cross-sell and upsell. So what we've done is we preloaded templates and sequences in this tool that reps can now go in and utilize on their own. Now, this is pretty common practice, especially for sales development teams. But when you have enterprise sellers that aren't used to doing a lot of prospecting, you need to make it even easier for them. So what we did is we preloaded templates for them to use, and then we taught them the basic functionality for how to use the tool. And that sounds very fundamental. And that's my point. It should be fundamental. We're giving people too much to do and too much to memorize. So we have to dumb it down everything along the way if you want reps to actually adopt this stuff. I think we're in a point now where we have proliferation of content, we have proliferation of tools. We're expecting too much from our sellers. We need them to build pipeline. We need them to close deals. We need to manage strategic accounts. All of this stuff. Where can we simplify the process? How do we do that for them?